So it's amazing what's happening right under our noses when you're not really paying attention. Have you heard of the Kangaroo Protection Act that's making its way through Washington, D.C.? Yes, federal Congress, not at a state level. Neither had I, until an article caught my attention. So it's probably not a surprise to you, it's not a surprise to me, that the person pushing this piece of legislation at the D.C. level comes out of California. Really? Come on, California. We know you're completely against the sustainable consumptive use of anything, right? You've banned all of the potential trapping in your state. Hunting is on the ballot all the time. You banned kangaroo leather, which is this whole reason for this Kangaroo Protection Act. You tried to ban the sustainable use of alligator skins and got sued, and that had to be pulled back. So what's the deal? Like, what is the deal? Oh man. So the headlines read, "No more killing of kangaroos for athletic shoes." They're going after the Nikes, the Pumas, the New Balances, all these companies that make soccer cleats out of kangaroo leather. So surely they must be going after these companies because kangaroos are endangered, right? No, that's not the reason. So the reason that they use is that the commercial slaughter of kangaroos hits about the 2 million number every single year. And according to their articles and their facts, it's the largest commercial slaughter of animals or wildlife on the globe. I guess these guys have not heard of and I guess this is not legal or commercial, but poaching in Africa, that probably way outstrips the 2 million kangaroos taken in Australia. What about feral hog management? That's commercial, that's legal. I guarantee you absolutely could put $100 on the ballot that feral hog management accounts for more than 2 million feral hogs a year. So again, why? Like, I really want to ask the Democrat out of California, and then there's a Republican out of Pennsylvania that have pushed this. Like, why? I'm sure that these representatives somewhere, somehow have leather shoes, have leather belts, have probably leather briefcase or satchels that they carry into Congress every day. So what's the difference between the leather from a cow and the leather from, say, an alligator or an ostrich, or in this case, kangaroos, in which the model has been shown to be sustainable, to be ethical, and to drive an economic revenue stream for that country? Why does California have to, they keep pushing this idea of, hey, we know better. And now they're pushing this idea across the entire country at DC, that we know better how to steward people's resources than they do. How would we like it if the Aboriginals in Australia decided to tell us how we needed to manage our white-tailed deer? It wouldn't go across very well. And why would you do it? So let me give you a little bit of truth behind kangaroos in Australia. Number one, the commercial take of kangaroos in Australia is extremely regulated. The GDP of kangaroo exports is about 8 million Aussie dollars. And there's two primary destinations, Europe and the US. So any ban on this is going to have a detrimental impact on that commercial trade of kangaroos. The industry is so heavily regulated that the processes are checked regularly to make sure that animals are taken in the most ethical way possible, and that is a clean headshot. If animals are found not to have a clean headshot, the processes are fined. So the processes are making sure that the guys on the ground doing the work are doing it as ethically as they possibly can. Did you know that no females are taken in the commercial trade of kangaroos? And the shooters, the people that are going out and commercially taking kangaroos off the landscape, have to go through proficiency tests every single year. i.e. they have to thread the needle to make sure that they can make that clean, ethical headshot. If they don't, license is pulled. You see, the whole trade is already under scrutiny. They understand it. So they've put things in place to make sure that, hey, what we do is right, is ethical, and is sustainable. So let me go back to the original point, that you would think that a Kangaroo Protection Act, an act that is stopping the illegal trafficking of kangaroos is because of the population being endangered. Let me tell you a little bit about kangaroo population dynamics in Australia. There are no natural predators. There is significant human interaction from years past. The urban wildlife interface is increasing. And as such, you have a kangaroo population that is burgeoning. So the population, as estimated across the entire country of Australia, is typically between 25 and 50 million. Now, I understand that's a discrepancy of about 100%, but that population is really high. The human population in Australia in 2020 is 25 million. So there are more kangaroos in Australia than humans. And lastly, the commercial take of kangaroos, this plus or minus 2 million number. And when you ask the people on the ground, they typically go under the quota. 1.7 million typically is what they're aiming for. That number has had no detrimental effect on the kangaroo population over time. So you see, I don't understand why someone in the US would have this idea of putting forward an act that would put economic burdens onto another country because they're sustainably utilizing their wildlife properly. It's just like the state of California telling the state of Louisiana, you're not doing a great job in your alligator industry. Well, we know that they are. We know that the alligator populations are increasing because of the commercial trade in alligators. So why do this to another country? I don't understand it. This is meant to be an education. It blows my mind that there is so much to be done here in the US. Yet we have folks worrying about the trade of a sustainable wildlife resource of another country at the same time that we've got all these issues in the US. Now you know, there's lots happening under your nose. You just don't know about it. We're going to try and keep you abreast of it. Obviously through our podcast, through this medium. But let us know if you see anything, you hear anything. We want to hear about it. We want to know about it. We appreciate you. We're so grateful and humble for your support. And just thank you. Thank you for your support behind our message and what we're trying to do to change the perceptions of hunting and hunters.